Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night, Gaethje versus Vick. So without further ado, let's get to the first fight on the main card. And I'm not too sure what the main card is right now, as they haven't stated what is the main card. So it's all one big layout of fights. But I think it's gonna be a six fight main card. So the first fight I'm starting with is in the middleweight division, Eryk Anders versus Tim Williams. So was it Tim Williams, the Jersey Strangler? Very weird, creepy looking guy. Seen him try to audition for Tough and get dropped several times. Eryk Anders was a tough contender. I mean, not a tough contender, but like I'm saying, he was like a top contender, still a top contender in the middleweight division. Coming up, still a lot of improvement to do, but a lot of talent that he has and a lot of potential. Coming off like a close decision loss to Machida, but it's fine. It's not really too much confusion about it. I think Tim Williams striking is not the best. Doesn't really have a lot of power. Has suspect defense, not the best chin, but a lot of heart. And has decent grappling, but nothing spectacular. I think Eryk Anders will be able to defend the takedowns. And on the feet, I think Tim Williams will be a sitting duck. Eryk Anders has too much power, too much composure. I think he'll just crack Tim Williams. I think Tim Williams might make it out of the first, but I think Eryk Anders gets him in the second round. So in this fight, I have Eryk Anders via second round TKO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Andrew Sanchez versus Antonio Braga Neto. I think Braga Neto fought in 2013, got a win over Anthony Smith via submission. Then fought twice again in 2017, lost. Got knocked out in the last fight. Now he's fighting Andrew Sanchez. So Braga Neto, top-notch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner versus Andrew Sanchez, who's a pretty good grappler himself. So I think Andrew Sanchez is the much more well-rounded fighter, Ultimate Fighter winner. I think he's bigger, younger, stronger, hungrier, and he's been more active. He might have some losses, I wouldn't say controversial losses, but losses where it's like he was winning the fight, then he kind of faded a little bit, then his opponents took advantage of him. I don't think that's going to be the case against Braga Neto, as his striking isn't that good, and he's really kind of one-dimensional almost. So I think Andrew Sanchez is that much more well-rounded than him that he'll be able to keep the fight where he wants it, keep it on the feet, and take advantage of Braga Neto being a very one-dimensional and pretty much TKO. As long as Andrew Sanchez doesn't blow his gasket, keeps his composure, and just when he has his opponent weak, he has his opponents hurt, just take his time. I think he'll be able to beat Braga Neto pretty clean, pretty clear, and have an impressive win and get back on the winning side. So I think I see Andrew Sanchez kind of break him down. It's going to be another second round type of stoppage. After he wears him down, it's not going to be immediate, not going to be explosive. He's going to take his time. Matter of fact, I'm going to say he's going to take his time and finish him in the third. So in this fight, I have Andrew Sanchez via third round TKO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the welterweight division, Jake Ellenberger versus Brian Bam Bam Barberena. So Jake Ellenberger, I don't even know why he's still in the UFC. I'm not saying I hate the guy or nothing like that. I'm just saying he's on a 4-fight win streak. He's been on 2 4-fight win streak. I think he got one win, I forget his name, over Matt Brown. In between that, then he's on 2 separate 4-fight winning streaks, I believe. And not just losing close, controversial split decisions or nothing like that, or even just one-sided decision. He's been getting TKO, stopped, choked out, getting all types of beatings, and he's still in the UFC. And then he's fighting Brian Barberena, who's not really on paper. Well, he's not really the most explosive, phenomenal type of guy, but he's still scary in a way. He's not somebody that's gonna be explode on you, submit you quick, knock you out. He doesn't have the frame that look like he's some opposing fighter, but he's a very tough fighter. I'm not saying he's gonna be a championship contender level, but he's certainly respectable level. He is, because he can strike. He can strike with some of the best people, can grapple with some of the best people. He has heart, has cardio. He can push that pace. He's gritty. And he's still game right now, where Jake Ellenberger is well past his game. I don't think Jake Ellenberger has really been up to what he used to be. When Jake Ellenberger was at his best, it was when he would just swing. He would just train hard, probably pumping weights all day, and just come at people just swinging wild, like a buzz cut, like a lawnmower. Just come at somebody swinging and just smack. Whether he gets stopped or he drop you, he's going to make sure you get hurt. You in the fight the whole time he's fighting. Now he just kind of thought he was a boxer or whatever and try to sit back. And that hasn't been working for him. He's been getting cracked, been getting cut, been getting walked down, getting beat up. And I think at this point, even if he tries to go back to his old style, it won't really work because he just has faded so much that people don't really even respect him to that level anymore. They respect him, they train hard for him, but they're going to be right there sitting to counter him every time he does anything. They're going to be there in his face, and it's gone. Whatever his edge he had is long gone and dulled. I think Brian Barberena is going to be able to have his way with him just like all his other opponents. I think Brian Barberena is better than a lot of opponents he lost to recently. Though Brian Barberena is not that dangerous opponent where he's going to show such a knockout threat or submission threat, I think he's going to be more than enough of a threat and technically better in this fight. I think he's gonna be able to just wear Jake Ellenberger out, and just it's gonna be a one-sided kind of beat down eventually. I think Barberena stops him in a second. So in this fight, I have Brian Barberena via second round TKO. Then on to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Courtney Casey versus Angela Hill. So Angela Hill, her grappling always been kind of weak. She's not the strongest fighter, kind of lanky and kind of frail, but good striker, good flowing of strikes, good technical striking, all right grappling, but not the best. But that's like her weakness. You want to beat Angela Hill, take her down. That's what you do. Courtney Casey on the other side, very big, very gritty, very tough. But like she just finds a way to lose. She's like one of the strongest women in the division, one of the most imposing women in the division, but she finds a way to lose. Like she could be the big one, be all powerful, but then like when the fight's on the line, she could just be giving up takedowns like they're nothing. Or she trips on her own feet and like it's nothing. Then the opponent just win on her. So those two people that kind of, I think Courtney Casey finds a way to lose, whereas Angela Hill just has a glaring weakness that she says she's fixed, but still hasn't really fixed. She gives up too much time on her back, no matter who her takes down. It's like she just pops back up, springs back to her feet off takedowns, or her takedown defense has improved that much. It's still there, especially you're going to fight the top level of the competition. So it's a toss-up, still a toss-up fight. I think they both fight to the best of their ability. Courtney Casey should win. Like if she fights to her best ability, and it should be two opposing, be able to get Angela Hill's face, take her down, and wear on her, and make it a rough night for Angela Hill. Use all that wrestling, but matter of fact, I was going to go to Courtney Casey, but she finds a way to lose, and she kind of lost to a similar fighter in her last fight. So I think Angela Hill is actually going to win this one. I think she's going to be too fast for Courtney. Courtney Casey is big and gritty and tough and can compete with the best of people in the division if she is up to game. She finds a ways to lose. So Angela Hill's going to be too fast for her, so it's going to be hard for her to strike, hard for her to set those takedowns up. And even if she gets those takedowns, how much of the round she's going to lose before she gets those takedowns, how long she'll be able to secure those takedowns. So I think Angela Hill's going to be much faster fighter, much rangier fighter, at least for her strikes, and be able to keep her distance and keep Courtney Casey chasing and for most of the rounds so that the takedowns and control doesn't win the round for Courtney Casey. I think she probably will also make sure that she doesn't end the rounds on bottom, or at least not 2 of the 3 rounds on bottom at the end of the round. So I think Angela Hill is going to win this fight via decision. So in this fight, I have Angela Hill via decision. Now on to our co-main event, we have in the featherweight division, Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. So Michael Johnson, like this is another one of these little scratch your head type fighters. Very fast hands. He got some pop to his punch. He might not be like one of those knockout type people you think of when you're like, oh, this guy's such a knockout artist. He has so much power. But more so, he's so fast that he can hit you so many times that it could drop you and knock your lights out before you even realize it. That's how fast he is. One of the fastest fighters as far as just hand speed in the sport right now. The Andre Fili, Team Alpha Male, pretty scrappy fighter. He's been in the sport for a minute, getting better. I think he's definitely at his best right now and getting improving. And he had some rough patches and coming back and rebounding, but he's improving his skill set, becoming better. He's becoming more confident in the ring, in the cage, and he's making the smarter moves and decisions he needs to make in the cage to pull out these victories where he will once lose or get caught with something. I think in this fight, he already knows what is Michael Johnson's weakness, and that's his grappling. If you can mix in the grappling there and maybe not get too caught on the feet, like trying to get caught up and trying to have a striking match with Michael Johnson and make it a full mixed martial arts fight, then he probably sees a clear path to victory. Like Michael Johnson could be a good pick for this, but it just seemed like he just been unreliable because his grappling is such a huge hole in his game that he has never really been able to truly fix. If he would have maybe managed to sprawl or be able to get back to his feet pretty quickly and handle that well, then he could be a threat for just about anybody. But when you had that big glaring hole in your game, pretty much just about anybody could beat you. There's people outside the UFC and like minor leagues who could take advantage of his grappling. So why not can't Andre Fili take advantage of that when he trains with one of the best, 155 pounds and under division, camps and Team Alpha Male, and they have a lot of good wrestlers there. They could easily implement a good wrestling game, camp for him, where he could utilize that wrestling to take Michael Johnson out of his game, rough him up, wear him out, beat him up on the ground, and probably submit him too. So I think in this fight, Andre Fili is just going to mix it up and take advantage of that huge hole in Johnson's game, either take him to a decision or submit him. And I'm going to say it's going to be a decision. So in this fight, I have Andre Fili via decision. Then on to our main event, we have in the lightweight division, Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. So this fight could kind of go I think about 2, maybe 3 ways. James Vick could get too get too caught up in the fight and start going back to his old style where he's so tall, but he leaves his chin up there to get hit, kind of squares up and doesn't use that range like he's been using recently. So he could be kind of played out that way. If he gets too caught up, I think Gaethje could take advantage of the leg kick because Vick is tall. His legs gonna be right there. Chop those legs up. It's gonna be more wear and tear on those long legs, and then when he steps, and that's gonna kind of counter some of that range that Vick will have. Then be able to hit him down the middle, possibly crack Vick. I think between the two, Gaethje definitely the much tougher, much better chin, fought the much better people. But Vick has the frame, and he's starting to learn how to use that frame, which could be dangerous. And that's the second way he could play. I think if Vick could use those knees, put those down the middle lane, so if Gaethje tries to approach, he could get hit clean with a knee. He could push Gaethje against the cage and land some strikes, and knee Gaethje to the body and legs and all that stuff, and pretty much wear Gaethje out and keep Gaethje at bay. And with Gaethje, he's not really like the most technical striker where he's going to be able to bob and weave and do all that stuff and counter you and get up and close and make it that type of fight where he's more of a brawler type of striker. So it's going to be kind of harder for him to cover that range if Vick is using it right. Then like the third type of way, it could play out, maybe Justin Gaethje uses his wrestling for once. And I think that could be a huge advantage for him against Vick, who's not necessarily the best wrestler. His grappling has improved, but still, I think Gaethje's wrestling will be on a much higher level than Vick, especially what Vick has seen so far, outside of the Michael Chiesa fight. But I think Gaethje's actually a better wrestler than Chiesa. So if Gaethje has to use his wrestling, then it could be a whole different fight. So we don't know what's going to come out of this. But I'm actually going to lean to Gaethje. I think his back's against the wall now. I think he's going to make certain adjustments. He's going to take advantage of Vick. And Vick already just had one. Gaethje has in mind all of what Vick would do, but Vick not too sure what Gaethje would do. He can assume that this is going to happen, but Gaethje knows everything that Vick presents. Everyone knows what Vick presents. So I think he's going to use that veteran experience. He's going to chop that leg up, make Vick uncomfortable, make Vick realize that he's not in for an easy fight. He's not going to be that easy to hit. You're going to hit me, but you're going to get caught with a lot of stuff. You're going to get caught with a lot of kicks. And it's going to be a different experience when you're in the cage. You're going to think, oh, he did some brawling, punching bag. But once you get in the cage with him, it's going to be a different experience. He's going to be chopping that leg down. I think he will definitely probably implement at least one takedown here and there just to give Vick something different. I think Vick's going to get frustrated from that, square up a little bit. We start getting hit with big shots, probably get dropped at least once. And I see Gaethje this can be definitely be a war. You can't get not be in a Gaethje fight, not be a back and forth war. I think in the third round, he's going to start to break Vick down. Vick going to get caught after his legs get worn out, get dropped, and it's going to be a TKO stoppage for Justin Gaethje. So in this fight, I have Justin Gaethje via third round TKO. So that concludes my fight predictions for UFC Fight Night, Gaethje versus Vick. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.